resisting arrest. He'll appear in court on Monday. A Youngstown woman indicted in a fatal crash in Ashtabula County is in the Mahoning County Jail. An Ashtabula County grand jury last month indicted Sue A. Deegan. She's accused of being drunk and driving a vehicle that crashed and caused the death of 63-year-old David C. Abels of Rome back in September of 2018 in Geneva. Abels was riding a motorcycle that collided with an SUV driven by Deegan. And don't forget to set your clocks ahead 1 hour before you go to bed tonight. Daylight savings time begins at 2 a.m. The time change means you'll lose 1 hour of sleep.
Cabinets on display and find the style that's right for your home, knowing you can save 11% on all of it. Complement your cabinets with Riverstone Quartz countertop. Complete the project with a perfect faucet, backsplash, and floor. And save 11% on everything now at Menards. Good through March 9th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Quiet, comfort, and affordability. The most important things when choosing a place to live. Westchester Square Apartments offers something to fit every need and budget. 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, and studio apartments. They rent apartments, but they sell convenience. You can find luxury living at Westchester Executive Apartments, 1,200 square feet of upscale living with carports, or independent senior living at Westchester Commons, strategically located in the center of Austintown, right next to Route 11. For the perfect apartment, call 330-799-5758. Come and be a good neighbor in a community of good neighbors. Westchester Square Apartments, Austintown.
Hi, folks. This is Dan Rivers. If you would like to talk real estate, talk with our newest host. Yes, Kelly Warren. Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. Right here. Kelly Warren guarantees to sell your home or she'll buy it. Catch Kelly Warren Sunday mornings at 8 right here. 570 WKBN.
Join us every Tuesday evening at 6 for the Two Wheel Power Hour Motorcycle Show on 570 WKBN.
All right, welcome everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and we get to do this here on Saturdays where we talk about things that are happening on tech. On Facebook, I promoted the show, really oversold it today, so I got to really live up to the expectations of, we kind of challenge the status quo. On this program where we get a lot of you out of your comfort zones. And once we do that, we give you the ability to have, a little bit of confidence to dabble in places that might not be, something that you did yesterday or the day before. Something might be all brand new to you. But that's sort of the intention, is that we give you that little nudge that might get you into territories that might have seemed foreign to you before listening to the program. We have a whole host of people that have listened to this program from the very beginning in its inception. And that's totally what we have done, where we've taken a very intimidating type of thing, and then we, kind of pepper you with the language and the context that allows you to kind of get into it with a little bit of, you get to put some swagger behind it. And what you'll find is when you do that challenge, you take some of maybe the biases that you may have put into it. First off, we have some older people who say, you know what, this absolutely just happened yesterday where an old timer came up to me and said, I was working on a server, and he said, you still working on that thing? And I said, yeah, we got to get it going again. Well, at my time, we just had file folders and paper, and guess what they never did? They never broke, right? So he threw a little jab at me where, the technology, if you swear off and you go back to paper, at least paper is dependable, is what he was getting at, paper dependable. So, but then you ask everybody who depends on computers, where if you compare what paper could do for you, how much more can you get done with technology? So yeah, technology breaks down and it needs a little bit more maintenance, and there's a little bit more, responsibility that comes with having it. But once you nail it, these things become these limitless tools that allow, everybody from every parts of the world. Think about what you could do. You're connected to the internet and you have one of these things in front of you. Think about what you could do that you couldn't do without. And that's what I want you to start thinking about. When I plant that seed, to know that you're, that little box that's sitting in front of you, the magical box, you're probably wasting a little bit of time on it where you could be getting a lot more things done, right? And I'm not trying to guilt you into it. I'm just suggesting that, that this thing is capable of so much more than you are asking from it. So I want to, thank everybody along the way who listens to this show regularly and who pushes the limits of their own capabilities and lets me along for the ride, where I can just make these little suggestions in your ears that allow you to dabble a little bit. And I want to tell you this. This is probably the most important advice of this program. Just listen to this and file it away forever and for always. No matter who you know, who you know and how educated or how much experience you think they have, nobody has really got it all figured out, right? They're not ahead of you. You're not incapable where they are capable. I've taken, people in specialized areas, doctors, lawyers, and whatever, and all of them are just in the same pursuit that we are. So maybe in one area they're like way ahead of you and it's noticeable, but you got areas that you're way ahead of them and it's noticeable. And as long as you stay in the game long enough and you have a willingness to learn and you ask more questions than you make statements, then you're kind of in it for the long haul where you get to, build up your abilities. So you walk in the room and sure, you can exclaim, tell everybody in the room that you don't know what's going on right now, but you give me 6 months and you let me stand in there and be able to take the barbs of the people that, might have some criticisms for you for not knowing. You stand in there long enough and guess what? You have no choice, but it's going to find its way into your brain. And the only thing it really takes is the desire and the interest to know something. And you having the persistence to stand in there no matter what happens. And I'll tell you, you will know it. And it's not something that anybody can object to. So, again, thanks everybody for from the very beginning of this program to feeling a little vulnerable from the very get-go and standing in there long enough till you really start to get it. I see some of these people who, they've even taken classes early on, and they were sort of the real quiet ones that sat in the back that because they know that they didn't know. Right? And then you watch those people as they take your classes and they get more comfortable. They start teaching others. So I picture this, you help one person long enough and then they get enough information that they help another person. You could see how that can kind of, just like that pay it forward thing, it could really have an effect down the road with people helping people to get smarter. We're in the information age, and this is sort of that open source socialization where it takes on a different form. When people truly, this is an easier and better way than any other way, I feel. I mean, if you know enough people, and let's just say, I know that I could sit down. I have customers in every industry on the planet. I know that I could sit down right now and say, hey, tell me a little bit about your business. And how many of them do you think would just say, you know what? Nobody really asks me about my specialty. Like they ask me to do something for them through an exchange, a transaction, but nobody really asks me about what I'm passionate about, my industry. How many of you think would sit there and tell you about it? How many of them would answer your questions? How many of them would be more than happy to put a little, little meat into a little wood into your furnace, kind of a thing? And so, like I said, that's what makes this show work. And so again, I appreciate all of you being out there that participate and not only listen here. You also turn around and help myself and help the other callers. So if you want to get on the phones and get on the program, 330-729-9977. My topic here first today is gaming. Okay, so we're going to talk about video games, and you've heard me over the last couple months. We're going to be putting together some gaming tournaments, and I bring this up because you, as my audience, are probably sort of the worst marketplace for me to say, hey, I'm going to do some gaming, because there's very little interest in this marketplace of doing gaming, where gaming is a big thing, especially with the next generation and the next generation after that. There is a sort of a villainous bias. And when we look at the next generation of kids, and, we almost think that the next generation is irresponsible because of games. Okay, because that's what we've been sort of like our exposure to it. We know that, kids go into this realm where they get to disconnect from reality and they get to experience things in the gaming world that they wouldn't otherwise go. And we kind of say, hey, that's this generation's dream world where, go deal with some reality. Go down the street and do something physical. And when you hear adults talk about kids, they're almost like they use gaming as that, reading a book is noble and virtuous, and playing a game is, the opposite of whatever that would be. I'm not going to call it a sinful thing, but it's definitely not in the same realm as books. But you got to think about a generation that maybe books did the same thing that video games at one period of time. But for some reason now, books of the avenue of the academics, right? The level of academics, and video games are now people who, the opposite of whatever academics would be. But my contention is that there's going to be an element of development, social development, Or when the first games that were put on a computer, you had Minesweeper. Everybody remembers Minesweeper, right? Well, the purpose for Minesweeper is that computers had this interface, this little mouse interface, and people struggled a great deal with using this mouse interface to get around these, getting around the computer interfaces. So they built a game that would help people develop the skills between the coordination between what they saw on the screen and the movements of their hands on the screen. If you ever watch a brand new computer user, they're all over the place when it comes to controlling the input on the screen. And you could glide a mouse around, and your brain sort of synchronizes and connects with the movements on the desk. Well, you didn't do that overnight. It was thousands and thousands and thousands of clicks and moves and scrolls and whatnot before your brain and your body connected. Well, so the first level of that interaction is the eye-hand coordination. That is very important, and it's something that games provide. Okay, so now we master the and hand-eye coordination, because that's the first things that gamers will say is that they've got 27 keys on the keyboard that they have to use to control the game. And if you ever watch any of them play, they can go around the keyboard without looking and hit the keys that are strafe and shoot and run and jump and all that kind of stuff. And it's just so like ingrained into their being. So think about that memorization and think about that control that they have over there. So that's number one. Number two, when it comes to gaming, early games that I would play, after you master the physical part, now you have sort of like a mental part where you can stimulate parts of your brain that you can't do with physical things, because you can't replicate physical things in board games and dice and cards and stuff like that. So now you can go a level deeper. Let's do some strategy, but let's have some dimension of thought through this strategy. So one of the first games that I really went after was SimCity. These simulation games where you got to do a thing that you would otherwise not ever to do. Like, what state of mind would you have to be if you're trying to distribute water to an entire community? Like, what would you have to be thinking about? Like, we know it's just pipes in the ground, but what about when there's things attached to it, like money and and natural disasters and population surges? You'd never get that when you're thinking about it, but the games force you into territories and make you think about things that otherwise you wouldn't have to. And that's, like I said, so the second part is after you get the whole controlling the things on the screen, then you got a little bit of the strategy and logic that the games are able to present to you. So that second level. All right, we got a phone call out there, so let's go ahead and take that. 330-729-9977. Let's take a call. Joe, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Good afternoon. Several years ago, I bought a copy of Windows 7 Home Professional and installed it on an old computer. It's working just fine. But I have a backup computer. I'd like to put it on that, but I guess you can't do it on two computers, can you, at the same time?
Correct, yeah, when you activate it for a single computer.
Right. Now, if I installed it on this backup computer and didn't activate it within the 60 days or whatever the period is there, what happens then?
Okay, so it'll usually drop its network connection where it wouldn't be able to connect to the internet, and you'll get a pop-up on the screen that says this is an unlicensed copy, license it, and it'll kind of lock you out from doing important stuff.
But I mean, if after the 60 days I went online and tried to register it, what would happen then?
Well, that's what it would force you into. Like when you first boot up the computer, that message would come up and it would say, please enter a key that's valid, and then it will attempt to activate it beyond there. It won't let you do anything beyond the 60 days. It'll force you to activate it.
Okay, but I could install it, but if I didn't activate it, I would have to then activate it after that 60-day period. I can still do that?
You can, yep.
Okay, real good. Now, the old computer, I probably better not put that online if I'm trying to run two copies of the same software. Is that right?
Yeah, and that's sort of the gray area where if you had a computer that replaced an old one, then Microsoft would, kind of put up with it as long as that computer never came to life again and it appeared on the internet somewhere. So, yeah, that would be it. If it's going to still exist, it's got to serve a life that isn't online.
Yeah, so I could go ahead and install that copy on the backup computer, and if I didn't activate it within that 60 days, I could still do it later, entering the code, right?
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Great. Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. And that's sort of like proceed at your own risk, because you got to think of the way that they. I mean, there's a lot of people. When you don't follow the service guidelines or the licensing guidelines, you're in a territory that as long as you don't cause a problem, usually you can get beyond the radar. It's still not legit. If you have a computer, it's got to have its own license. And they don't even really want you to go from old computer and move your license to your new computer. It's possible to do it. I mean, I've talked to Microsoft people and said, hey, got a new computer. And if too much of the original components are replaced, it constitutes a new computer, which means it has to have its own license. So let's just say I have a computer and I replace a sound card, right? Well, that counts as it's the old computer. It just got a sound card. What about if I put a motherboard in it and a new processor? Is it still the old computer or is it a new computer? What if I give it a new case, a new motherboard, and a new processor, and new memory, and new hard drive? Is it a new computer anymore, or is it still, the old computer? So that's why I said it's kind of gray area, but I figure if the computer you're using is in front of you and you bought a copy of an OEM, an OEM operating system, I believe you should be able to use that operating system, going forward. That's your copy of Windows, no matter if your computer fails out or not. You bought that license. And theoretically, I bet you they would disagree a lot. But as long as you're not pirating, where you're not taking something and using on every one of your computers so that you don't have to buy licensing, that's what I would disagree with. I think that's the part that I would start objecting to and saying, hey, go get a copy of it. I mean, come on. These, and not that I feel bad for Microsoft, but you're making everything cost more when you're doing piracy. It just makes things go, because if that's the way that Adobe and early versions of Microsoft, so many people were doing the pirated versions that costs just went up for everybody else. I mean, do you think Office should cost $250 per license? If they get it so that everybody's paying for it, I don't know, maybe the cost comes down. Maybe that's me just living in a pipe dream, though, that would reduce cost. But it can't make it cost any less, that's for sure. All right. We're going to take a break here. If you want to get on the lines, 330-729-9977. You can also text me all program long, 333-1570 is the text line. And it's more about gaming. I got some more articles to read about the psychologies behind gaming and the development behind gaming. So stay tuned. We'll get more back to that when we get back. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Our 2019 iHeartRadio Music Award. Alicia Keys, Ariana Grande, Garth Brooks, Halsey, John Legend, Casey Musgraves, Taylor Swift, and more.
They say nobody will hand you your dreams. Well, now that Taco Bell delivers through Grubhub, you can get your dreams handed right to you. Tacos, crunch wraps, chalupas, delivered straight to your door. Taco Bell Delivery. It's your taco dreams, delivered by Grubhub.
You know what's fun? Refunds. And using my tax refund to save big at Family Dollar, where you can save $5, $10, and $20 with Family Dollar Smart Coupons. This week, Colgate toothpaste or Extra Clean or Classic Clean toothbrushes are only 88 cents. Save $1 on any 2 Clorox items. And Cottonelle bath tissue, 12 big rolls, just $5. Sign up for your Family Dollar Smart Coupons. Download our app or visit FamilyDollar.com, where Family Dollar is refund.
Get the hottest flooring styles at incredible prices at Lumber Liquidators Spring Black Friday flooring sale. All waterproof floors are on sale up to 50% off. Get $1 off per square foot on select Bellawood hardwood floors. And take 20% off new AquaSeal water-resistant laminate. Plus, ask how you can get professional installation and special financing. Get to Lumber Liquidators Spring Black Friday flooring sale today. Visit lumberliquidators.com for a store near you.
Stiefel is a full-service firm offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. Stiefel, with 3 offices in the Valley with experienced advisors assisting you. Information, visit Stiefel.com or call 744-4351. Stiefel Nicholas Incorporated.
Computer troubles at the office? Tell your manager you need to call ECMSI, Executive Computer Management Solutions Incorporated. ECMSI keeps your computers up and running and provides security from rogue employees and hackers with a superior customer experience each and every time. Unlike other IT guys that can leave you on hold for days, ECMSI ECMSI guarantees to be working on your issue in an average of 19 minutes or less. Increase your productivity by partnering with ECMSI. Call 330-750-1428 or visit ecmsi.com.
From America's best-selling automobile to the world's toughest trucks, there's a reason why customers are driving from Youngstown, Boardman, Austintown, Hermitage, even Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So come and find out for yourself at our all-new state-of-the-art facility on Route 46. See you at Toyota of Warren.
Enjoy the total comfort of a Shoreline or Summit Spa from BY Pools and Spas. Shoreline offers 7 models built to last and designed for comfort. Summit Spas offer passive impact therapy, advanced water care, even a Bluetooth audio system. Bring a sense of beauty to your backyard and serenity to your life with a Shoreline or Summit Spa from BY Pools and Spas. Struthers Road and 224 in Poland.
We're the one for family fun.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive Little Blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. Right now, get your first month supply for free. All you pay is just $5 for your medical consultation when you go to 4hims.com/supply. After that, it's just $30 for a month's supply. Sure beats paying big bucks for just one blue pill, doesn't it? Plus, you won't need an awkward in-person doctor's appointment to get the prescription. Hims has doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. It's affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/supply. That's 4hims.com/supply for your first month for just $5. 4hims.com/supply.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. Text message came in. What's the easiest way to transfer an operating system from a hard drive to a solid state? Well, your best bet is if your operating system is in good condition, you're going to want to image your hard drive to the new one. So basically, it takes a snapshot of how the hard drive looks, and it just moves it to a new device. So when you plug the new device in, then it boots just like it always has. And so if you're going from mechanical to solid state, then everything just happens faster. Now, that really presupposes that your hard drive is in good condition. If you've got errors and problems with the software on there, then you really don't want to do that because you're just transferring your problem to a faster drive. But the program that I like is called Acronis. And I believe it's like a $40 program. I use it a lot. It's one of those programs where it's been in my library forever. You've heard me cite it forever. And it's what I use mostly for my image backups, where if I take a snapshot of a hard drive, I can do the restoration and the backups easiest and quickest. It's probably one of the most reliable pieces of software that I've ever used. You can check out Acronis on the web and download it. I think they'll even give you a trial. But it is a program that you have to purchase a license for, and it's not all that bad. So it's worth the investment of $40 to have something that you can do image backups. The process goes like this: the source and the destination have to be pretty similar. Okay, so what I'll do is that let's just say you buy a 500 gig solid state drive, and your other drive is 1 terabyte. Well, you're going to have to clean up the source drive so that it fits nicely on a 500 gig drive. Now, I like hard drives to not really hit the threshold of being more than 75% filled. So if you've got a 400 gig and it's 125, you got a 500 gig drive and you got 125 gigs free, that's sort of where I want you, where I want you to be. So clean up the drive a little bit, move some music files to somewhere else and your movie files, anything that's taking, warehousing some space and move them away. And that way when you do the image, that the size of the source is smaller than the size of the destination. And then you can use Acronis to copy that image over to the new drive. So lots of people are doing this, and that's why this is probably your easiest bet to get the data over there nice and reliably, because it goes as a 1-for-1 where it copies the image that it sees. Now, let's just say you do not have your backup, your solid state, and you want to use Acronis as just backing it up, you can take like an external drive, boot to the Acronis disk, and have Acronis take a snapshot of that primary drive and move it to your external. Now, in the future, let's just say that your hard drive ducks out and it fails. you can put a new hard drive in there, go back to your external drive, and have Acronis take that image and drop it right on that new drive, and you're right back where you were when the snapshot was taken. So the data will all be there, the operating system will be there, the programs will be there. It'll look just like it does right now. So if you're at all interested in doing a system image that way, Windows Backup has its own, but this is a good snapshot system. It's just worked out. And any time that I've had a call on one of those Acronis images, it's always come through. So that is my go-to when it comes to imaging. So thanks for the text message. I appreciate it. And Jay, I see you out there, and Gail, I see you out there. Thanks for joining us over there on the stream. We're going to take a break, come back, take some more of your phone calls. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
When my cardiologist told me I needed to take a statin drug to lower my cholesterol, he also told me that it can lower my natural levels of CoQ10. He told me to take Cunol. It has the #1 cardiologist-recommended form of CoQ10, a very important nutrient for a healthy heart and healthy blood pressure levels. Cunol, with 3 times better absorption, has the #1 cardiologist-recommended form of CoQ10. Take Cunol, the better CoQ10.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. ODOT Director Jack Marchbank says people will pay more at the pump, but will see the benefit. He says the state of Ohio desperately needs to pass an increase to the gas tax. ODOT's proposal for an increase was 18 cents per gallon, a number that came from a review and inspection of every bridge, road, and highway in the state. The Ohio House of Representatives has proposed an increase of 10.7 cents per gallon. A Ravenna man is facing charges after police say he tried to force his way into a Leavittsburg couple's home while screaming people were trying to kill him. David McCullough is charged with aggravated burglary and resisting arrest. He'll appear in court on Monday. A Columbus police officer originally from the Mahoning Valley was shot during an ambush and is currently recovering. William Fries, originally from Poland, was shot in the face Thursday night in Columbus. He's an 11-year veteran of the Columbus Police Department. 3 men considered suspects were detained, but later released. A Youngstown woman indicted in a fatal crash in Ashtabula County is in the Mahoning County Jail. An Ashtabula County grand jury last month indicted Sue A. Deegan. She's accused of being drunk and driving a vehicle that crashed and caused the death of 63-year-old David C. Abels of Rome back in September of 2018 in Geneva. Abels was riding a motorcycle that collided with an SUV driven by Deegan. And don't forget to set your clocks ahead 1 hour before you go to bed tonight as daylight saving time begins at 2 a.m. The time change means you'll lose 1 hour of sleep. The next time change is Sunday, November 3rd. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2.
Don't be left out in the cold this winter. Call Mazza Heating in Girard, your factory authorized Bryant dealer.
The clouds will start to increase as we head throughout the afternoon, and Saturday night, plan on rain showers and the possibility of a rumble of thunder. Highs will hit the mid-40s and will continue to climb overnight. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alexis Walters.
My Powerball ritual? Playing license plate numbers in my boss's golf score. When Powerball is up to $414 million, there's no better time to nail that lucky number and play the odds your way. Powerball, it's up to $414 million. Play today.
And while you're at it, don't forget to try the new Decade of Dollars scratch-offs. With $1, $2, $5, and $10 games available, you could win $500 to $5,000 for up to 10 years.
Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Please play responsibly.
Save gas and wear and tear on your vehicle when you let the Newcastle Transit Authority take you where you want to go. Take the bus to work, school, doctor's appointments, or go shopping. With stops throughout Lawrence County and weekday service to Pittsburgh, it's perfect for those of you who drive it every day, saving yourself gas money and wear and tear on your vehicle. Public transportation just makes sense. Why drive when you can relax and ride? For more information or for route schedules, log on to newcastletransit.org. The Newcastle Transit Authority. Going your way.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive Little Blue Pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. Right now, get your first month supply for free. All you pay is just $5 for your medical consultation when you go to 4hims.com/supply. After that, it's just 30 bucks for a month's supply. Sure beats paying big bucks for just one blue pill, doesn't it? Plus, you won't need an awkward in-person doctor's appointment to get the prescription. Hims has doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. It's affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/supply. That's forhims.com/supply for your first month for just $5. forhims.com/supply.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charlie's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charlie's.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I'm Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is the place where we get to talk about things that are happening in the tech world. We do our best. I mean, for years now, we've done our best to kind of get you into new territories and give you our input on anything that might be going on. So feel free, 330-729-9977, to give me a call here today, and we'll be more than happy to talk to you. And I just want to read you this. This was part of what we were talking about with gaming. This is actually from Psychology Today, an article, and they asked kids what they feel about how the world feels about their video game play. And this is a 9-year-old named Bo said, "I want to know why adults think video games are bad, because the adults around my neighborhood are annoying me by saying, read a book, no video games. Why can't they say it's time to play video games now? Why does Bo here feel like adults are so anti-video game?" So anyway, we'll talk more about that, but let's take some phone calls here. Let's go to Tom next. Tom, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Yeah, my wife had an older program called My Family Tree for genealogy, and I can't remember what version it was on. I got a new CD, but it's for an older 95 machine. I tried, installing it with the option to, run as 95 in my Vostro business laptop, and it wouldn't do it. Do I have to get actually a 95 machine that's still running to try and start that? Or because she found some files on her laptop, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, and basically what you want to do is, if the operating systems of today are not compatible with the original program, you got two choices. You either have to find a copy of the same program that will work, or you have to emulate the software and how it natively would like to work. Sometimes you achieve it by putting Windows in a mode where it can sort of like you right-click on the shortcut and tell it to run as a 95 program. Sometimes you can get away with that. But I guess a different way of doing that would be to create some emulation where you can emulate a Windows 95 environment, like a VirtualBox or a VM workstation, something like that. And then it thinks it's already in the world of Windows 95. The challenge is just being able to find software to be able to load into that virtual environment so that it will run properly. So if you can find, if you're ever garage sale and you can find a license that for Windows 95, you can take that sucker, find the software too, and reload it into virtualization, and then have that program resurrected. Yep.
Oh, okay. Hey, one more thing.
Sure.
I have my network, my laptop and my desktop and my printers all tied together so I can share them. And I put stuff on a public documents under network. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, sorry. Where does that public documents reside?
Okay, so you're putting it on one computer and you'd like to pull it over the network?
Well, no, I can see both. I can see the public folder on both computers.
Okay.
Because I have moved stuff back and forth sometimes. My question is, where is that public folder residing? Is it in the router? I mean,
it's going to be on one of the two workstations. So basically what you can do is you can go into computer management and look at all of the shares, and then you can find how it's being shared. So if you go into, right-click on computer and go to computer management, find there's a little heading for shares. You can see on which of the two machines are sharing that folder.
Okay, so it is taking up hard drive space.
It is, correct.
Public.
Yep.
Okay, I got to find out which one it is. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you being out there. Appreciate you calling. And for all of us who have home networks, you can take a portion of your of a hard drive on the network and dedicate it for make it shareable, so that it's discoverable by the other computers on your network. So if you put you have cloud space where you can put your documents out on Google, and then when all the computers are pointed at it, it can go fetch your stuff. But you can also do it on the local side. If you create a folder on one of the hard drives, you can right-click on that folder and go to Share. You can give it a name and open it up so that it's can be shared by everybody, and then people on the other part of the network. So how do you get there from the other computers? Well, the way that you get there, it's called a UNC path. And so the first part of a UNC path is first you direct it at the computer name that's hosting it. So let's just say the computer in your office, you call the name of the computer is Office. You might go in there and find your computer name as like some kind of random characters. It's easy to change that so that you can address that computer over the network. So if you have one that's hosting something, make the name pretty easy so you can get to its resources. So after you've named it something like Office, then you can go //office/ and then the resource name. So if you have we'll call it something simple like shared docs, right? So then the UNC path would look //office/shared docs. And then when you go there, you'll see all the shared documents. And even if you go //office, it'll go to a bunch of folders of everything that might be shared off of that computer. So that's kind of the quick version of how to do Windows sharing. With cloud, it's becoming less valuable because all of us have a preference now that our documents are wherever we are, not just at our home network. But sometimes it's necessary to dedicate some hard drive space to sharing off some movies or music and stuff like that, so all of your computers and devices can get to them. Okay, so again, and I do want to tell you this too: the gaming and what it provides. Some of the psychologists that were cited in this article, after they got some input from kids, say that should parents let their kids play violent games? Because as parents, we're all really crazy about the emulation. If kids go into a violent video game and they get desensitized to shooting everybody up, do we create kids that have no problem with going around society and when they get in a pinch shooting everybody up? Well, I'll tell you this, that if it's presented correctly, and most of the psychologists in this study agree that whereas you do not want to make all the games that they play violent, because if they have a propensity where all they want to do is kill things, then yeah, that's probably a problem. Make sure that their gameplay has, some fighting games, but some, puzzle games and some other kind of challenging. So separate it up. If there's a hunger for the violent, then that's not you're not helping a kid discover. You're pushing it into a vice, and you don't want vices to turn into addictions, and that's where you get into the problem. I don't think games in themselves present anything bad, but proper parenting goes into anything. Just like you would teach to drive a car, the car could become a violent weapon as well, just like a video game could. So if you go hands off and let them figure it out on their own, some kids are going to go down the path of destruction when it comes to handing the keys to a car, and same thing happens with the video game. So you don't want to make these things so that it's sort of like that. Creating a big wedge between you and your kids, where it becomes the boogeyman, no matter what you're talking about. And you don't want kids to feel bad about them playing video games and make them feel like morons if that's what their challenge is. I mean, you got to think of it. The world right now, video games is the social networks and the socializations that our kids get. For a video game to be for kids to go after a video game, you have to have the motivations of they have to have the strategy enough where they can start out bad and they can accelerate to getting different levels and they can have accomplishments. I mean, think about it. When you were a kid, you did the same thing, but in different ways. This is just all right, you start off bad and then you go to Pony League and then you go to a more advanced league and you develop skills and now you can be proud of something, right? They're participating the same way. They talk with their friends. So it's a way of doing something together with their friends. Where they go to school and some friends are talking about what they're doing and some friends are not, then you're creating those wedges between what they're not able to have in common with their peers. And so that's, like I said, the second thing. Proper parenting means that we pepper in and we have lots of conversations about what they're playing. I was really against Fortnite from the beginning. Okay, because these first-person shooters I thought were the we have all of these strategy games, And first-person shooters, all they do is you go around killing people. And I hated the fact that that's what the strategy was. I mean, to end someone's life, I mean, you can't get more desensitizing when you look at somebody and you can shoot them and not feel bad about it, right? Well, how do you do that? Well, through repetition of shooting people and not feeling bad about it. So I figured, this Fortnite thing was not doing a service to us because it was just getting kids really comfortable with using a weapon, ending someone's life, and then, hey, you know what? The feeling is that the game makes it so that when you end a life, they just respawn. They're fine. So when you're having a conversation with your kids and saying, this is very important to know that what you're doing there is complete fantasy. Okay, people don't come back to life. They get injured and they die, right? If you kill them and shoot them with a real weapon and make a complete separation from that fantasy and what it is in the real life. So if you're capable of doing that and your kid is smart enough to be able to know that one is imaginary and one is real life, then, it can be a safe outlet. It could be a very aggressive, just like football's really aggressive. If my kid watched a football game and then went outside and see our neighbors, I got an elderly neighbor that's mowing his grass and my kid goes up to him and levels him out, right? There was a fantasy thing. You just don't go around hitting people. It's only applicable during that game, right, in that setting. Well, you don't see kids doing that, going around hammering people in public. So again, the kids do have the ability. They are smart enough to make that separation, but you as a parent have to really underscore that. And so don't make them feel bad about it. Make sure that the challenges they're putting out in front of them, and don't always refer to it as an addiction. If it's an addiction, it means that your kid can't remove themselves from it. An addiction truly is that they will remove themselves from public, where they won't be able to sit down and have a conversation with you. They won't sit down and have a dinner. If you say, hey, it's time to get off, and they get off and go, that's not an addiction. It's when they get off and they complain and they start melting down and then you've created an addiction. And that's when the games get hacked off right then until they can handle having something, but also not having something and being able to participate in the real world without having that thing. So these were some objectives, and these were people that had some letters after their name that were on this side of the equation. You don't usually get that. Usually when it comes to doctors and psychologists, they are so anti-gaming and this kind of stuff. But this is sort of lending sort of a more delicate eye to it, knowing that it's not saying, hey, kids, you're not going to do this, is not going to make them want to do it any less. So doing it smarter is probably going to be our best objective as parents here. So let's not villainize the operation of gameplay. Let's just make it smarter, have it be more educated, hit it with more responsibility, and make it so that it's something that develops. I mean, I tell you, I played, my wife was so disappointed in me. I played Grand Theft Auto, which is basically a game where you're a thug and you go around robbing people and killing things, right? And you're a thug. Now, everything in the game was terrible and awful. The language was terrible. What constituted some of the challenges were terrible. I mean, it was so appealing because, a burglar is something that bad people do. But you got to be a burglar in a game, and then when the game turns off, you're no longer a burglar. That was, and again, I'm torn on it because I know that's terrible. The things you put into your brain, they grow. And so if you put all you do is put that kind of stuff in there, you become worse because of it. But the entertainment value of being able to role play, you see the next generation are really into that whole deal where as long as they can come in and out of it and do it healthily, then I say, give them what they can handle. So if your kid can't get away with driving a skateboard, then don't give them a skateboard. But if they have the responsibility for a skateboard and a bike and then a moped, then a motorcycle, then a compact car, all the way up to a performance car, if they can handle it and not be unhealthy about it, then I don't see the damage that can be done there. So I figured I'd bring that up. That's kind of interesting. So let's take a phone call real quick. 330-729-9977. You're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hello, Joe.
Yes.
Hey, I just wanted to give you a call. Listen, I've actually been to you, and you've taken care of my issues with the computer several times, so really appreciate that. And I just want to say that I am not, I totally do not agree. We're at odds with your thoughts or your your idea of the video games. I am not. We're going to have to differ on that. I totally could not disagree more.
Yeah, share with me. I'd like to hear your perspective.
Well, my perspective is I think you're being a little bit personally, and it's not, it's no personal offense to you because you're a great guy, but I just think you're being a little bit naive personally. And the analogies that you make between a video game and playing sports or teaching your kids the difference between good and bad, I don't see that, and I don't think it's realistic. So, and you had said yourself, and I totally agree with that teaching some people that what's fantasy and what's reality. Well, let's face it. I mean, a parent can't be on totally know their child's mind. It's just impossible, and the facts have shown that. And I think statistics have shown themselves, and also the repercussions of video games. I don't think that you can diminish what's happened, with some of these people that have been noted violent, and actually some of these school shootings that were noted gamers. So I don't think that you can just diminish that and say it's something that if we give our kids guns and we tell them, hey, you got to be careful, this can kill. There's certain things that the reality is it's just not good. And also, Joe, even if they understood this is reality, even if you went that far, and I'm not saying there's not any kids, but is it really good for them to have exposure to that? I don't think that constitutes that it is. But even if there are the handful, and I think it's the smaller ones that realize that, even if they did, you mentioned it's come out that actually the health, who is it? The American Health Association, the AMA, medical people have said that they've listed gaming as a disease because it is an addiction. So you and I will never agree on that. And I will say, Joe, respectively, I could never share your viewpoint.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the phone call. I really appreciate you chiming in.
Okay.
All right,
sir.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And I'm toying with this, and I can't say that this is part of my philosophy because, like I said, up until a couple of months ago, I was terribly against it in all of its forms. But if you're not going to stop it, if the world is going to do this, and you're going to dabble it as a parent, don't you have to sort of put something in the toolbox that at least fields it, it mitigates it, it gives it a level of sort of structure. So if you're not going to stop it, if that's what's going to happen and that is the world, don't you want to have that part of whatever education to be able to handle heavy and hard things versus just assuming that they're not going to be hard and you can fight the exposure to it. Anyway, I really appreciate your phone call, and I'm glad that we could disagree on that level. It's not that I disagree. I'm totally more with him than I am with me at this time, if that's even possible. Anyway, we're going to take a break, come back, take some more of your phone calls, 330-729-9977. You can also text me, 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Dan Rivers here with another great offer. Are you a recent retiree or older adult looking for a vibrant senior community? You're going to feel right at home at Copeland Oaks. Residents can relax and enjoy life in any of the living options. The continuum of care ensures that residents are comfortable, safe, and cared for, no matter how their needs change or evolve throughout retirement. Commit to an independent apartment by March 31st and receive 1 month free. Call for your personal tour, 330-938-6126, or search CopelandOaks.com.
Winter driving can be hazardous, and having good tires can make the difference between staying on the road or sliding off. So before you find yourself stranded, be smart and have your tires checked for free at Flynn's Tire and Auto Service, your hometown tire and auto service experts. And if you do find you need tires, remember that Flynn's will meet or beat any advertised tire price. Flynn's carries top name brands and tires like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Uniroyal. You'll drive with confidence this winter knowing you have good tires. So get ready for winter now. Get to Flynn.
And tell them Finny sent you.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend my Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner, but But thankfully, there's HomeAdvisor. HomeAdvisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. You can read reviews of the pros, check their availability, and even book appointments online. And what my wife loves most is that HomeAdvisor is completely free to use.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
You know what's fun? Refunds. And using my tax refund to save big at Family Dollar, where you can save $5, $10, and $20 with Family Dollar Smart Coupons. This week, Colgate toothpaste or Extra Clean or Classic Clean toothbrushes are only 88 cents. Save $1 on any 2 Clorox items. And Cottonelle bath tissue, 12 big rolls, just $5. Sign up for your Family Dollar Smart Coupons. Download our app or visit FamilyDollar.com, where Family Dollar is refund.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive Little Blue Pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. Right now, get your first month supply for free. All you pay is just $5 for your medical consultation when you go to 4hims.com/supply. After that, it's just $30 for a month's supply. Sure beats paying big bucks for just one blue pill, doesn't it? Plus, you won't need an awkward in-person doctor's appointment to get the prescription. Hims has doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. It's affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/supply. That's 4hims.com/supply for your first month for just $5. 4hims.com/supply.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Most serial killers don't make any effort to involve the media or investigators. They almost want their crimes to go unnoticed. But the idea of committing a crime and then calling up the police and bragging about it, that's a whole nother level of terror.
Here we are, 50 years after the first Zodiac killing. Who doesn't want to know how it turns out?
From the creators of Atlanta Monster comes Season 2. This is Monster, the Zodiac Killer. Listen and follow on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and we get to talk about things in tech. Open the phone lines up to you, give you a chance to chime in, ask questions, participate in the program all show long. We also have text messaging here, but if you want to get on the lines, 330-729-9977 is the phone number. You can text me also at 333-1570. Welcome to you who are out there, both on terrestrial side and the digital side and the streaming side, all that kind of stuff. So welcome to the program. Appreciate you guys all being here. Steve's out there, so let's go take a phone call to Steve next. Steve, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Good afternoon.
Hi.
I want to clarify something. The American Medical Association has never declared that playing video games makes you an addict. They have never done. There are people that do play video games and are addicted to them, but there are also way more people that play video games that aren't addicted. So that's just completely inaccurate to think that. And I obviously it's a closed-minded opinion based on a little trickle of information that this gentleman blew completely out of proportion when he doesn't understand it. Now, and this coming from somebody, I'm not a big video gamer. I played a little bit when I was younger. I was more of an athlete, but I worked out so much as an athlete that when I was done at the end of the day, I was physically exhausted. So I did play, a couple hours of video games at the end of the day because obviously I was too tired to do anything else. But I just want to make it very clear that, you can't, everything goes with moderation, and proper parenting. You can play the most gory video game out there, a ruthless video game, and it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't, as with anything, you could always turn into, anything can turn bad. And the question is it being monitored properly, and is it being used properly? One's entertainment value, and the other one, does lead towards that addiction. But they're not one and the same.
All right, I got a question for you, Steve, and this is just your opinion. So people who are against this, they wonder why do all of the video games seem to have a thread around violence? Why can't we have these things that have an other purpose? Why is that sort of like the zero sum? It all filters down to being violent.
Well, the whole purpose is rush. The goal is the adrenaline. You know, and what if you actually have, if you pay attention to any studies, there are with certain types of video games, is that adrenaline rush that exists there. Where you could run into on extreme circumstances, people losing control of their reality. But as with anything, you know, I'm not going to deal with the fraction of a 1%. I'm going to deal with the majority, because that fraction of 1% was going to have a problem regardless.
Right. Whatever they got addicted to, they were going to have a problem with.
Exactly. So, you know, I'm not going to blame the 99.99% of society for the actions of somebody that is just mentally disturbed.
Right.
But it's a lot of the adrenaline rush issues, and, you know, because, I mean, why are we playing Monopoly instead of checkers?
Right. All right, I got to move on. Steve, thank you so much for the phone call. Thanks for your opinion. I appreciate it. All right, you're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
The Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber proudly presents the Valley Health and Wellness Expo at Covelli Center, Saturday, March 30th. Would your group or business like to be part of this incredible event? Just visit valleyhealthandwellnessexpo.com or contact the Regional Chamber, 330-744-2131. That's 744-2131. The Valley Health and Wellness Expo returning March 30th in partnership with Mercy Health, One Health Ohio, Southwoods Health, Stewart Healthcare System, and iHeartMedia Youngstown.
Hey, it's Ron Burt for Nature's Stone. Never replace your basement flooring again. Carpet, linoleum, vinyl, wood, tile, all mistakes when it comes to your basement. Nature's Stone is the only solution that will stand up to flooding and water damage. Nature's Stone is the answer. So if your basement is damp, dirty, not somewhere you want to spend time, you need Nature's Stone. Get Nature's Stone installed in your home by the end of March and get up to 50% off. Hey, schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today. Call or go to naturestone.com. And as my friend Mike says, it's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature's Stone.
On AM and thousands of devices, including Amazon Echo, Google Home, and Sonos. With our iHeartRadio app, 570 WKBN Youngstown.
From
It's 2 o'clock.
News. I'm Daria Albinger. R. Kelly is out of jail now. Their $161,000 child support payment has been made on his behalf.
Singer R. Kelly briefly speaking to the press as he left jail.
I promise you we're going to straighten all of this stuff out. That's all I can say right now. I promise you.
He entered a black van that drove away. His attorney Steve Greenberg telling reporters,
the man is innocent. The presumption is that he's innocent. As he stood here before you today, he's an innocent man.
This is his second stint in jail in 2 weeks after being charged with 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse last month. He'll be back in court in regards to the child support payments next week. Ryan Burrow, ABC News, Chicago.
An early morning of ice fishing turned into a life-saving rescue off Catawba Island State Park in Ohio. More than 100 people became stranded when the ice began to break apart. Jake Williams was among those who fell into the water.
Very lucky to be everybody's walking out. The Coast Guards did their job. The Fire Department, everybody here did a wonderful job getting everybody off today.
And the Coast Guard was called in to help the local authorities. The National Weather Service confirming a tornado touchdown today in the Arklatex area where Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana come together. It's part of a severe storm system moving across the south central states. The FAA is looking into this morning's emergency landing at Newark Liberty International Airport. More from ABC's Jeffrey Cook.
Jeff, Transat 942, roger.
We are evacuating. The pilots of the Air Transat flight, a Boeing 737, got an indication of a fire while flying over New Jersey, the FAA told ABC News. According to air traffic control audio obtained from the website liveatc.net, smoke was seen coming from the rear of the plane.
The 190 passengers on board were evacuated using the plane's emergency slides. The airport was closed for about an hour. Most of the nation returns to daylight saving time early tomorrow. Remember, we spring forward, set your clocks ahead an hour before you go to bed. You're listening to ABC News.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. A Columbus police officer originally from the Mahoning Valley was shot during an ambush and is currently recovering. William Fries, originally from Poland, was shot in the face Thursday night in Columbus. He's an 11-year veteran of the Columbus Police Department. 3 men considered suspects were detained, but later released. ODOT Director Jack Marchbank says people will pay more at the pump, but will see the benefit. He says the state of Ohio desperately needs to pass an increase to the gas tax. ODOT's proposal for an increase was 18 cents per gallon, a number that came from a review and inspection of every bridge, road, and highway in the state. The Ohio House of Representatives has proposed an increase of 10.7 cents per gallon. A Ravenna man is facing charges after police say he tried to force his way into a Leavittsburg couple's home while screaming people were trying to kill him. David McCullough is charged with aggravated burglary and resisting arrest. He'll appear in court on Monday. A Youngstown woman indicted in a fatal crash in Ashtabula County is in the Mahoning County Jail. An Ashtabula County grand jury last month indicted Sue A. Deegan. She's accused of being drunk and driving a vehicle that crashed and caused the death of 63-year-old David C. Abels of Rome back in September of 2018 in Geneva. Abels was riding a motorcycle that collided with an SUV driven by Deegan. And don't forget to set your clocks ahead 1 hour before you go to bed tonight. Daylight savings time begins at 2 a.m. The time change means you'll lose 1 hour of sleep. The next time change is Sunday, November 3rd. In sports, Miami beat the Cavs 126-110 on the ice. Penguins at Columbus tonight. The Youngstown Phantoms take on Green Bay tonight at the Covelli Center. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2:30. Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's.
Need a furnace checkup? Call Mazza Heating and Cooling in Girard, your factory authorized Bryant dealer.
The clouds will start to increase as we head throughout the afternoon, and Saturday night, plan on rain showers and the possibility of a rumble of thunder. Highs will hit the mid-40s and will continue to climb overnight. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alexis Walters.
My Powerball ritual? Playing license plate numbers in my boss's golf score. When Powerball is up to $414 million, there's no better time to nail that lucky number and play the odds your way. Powerball, it's up to $414 million. Play today. And while you're at it, don't forget to try the new Decade of Dollars scratch-offs. With $1, $2, $5, and $10 games available, you could win $500 to $5,000 for up to 10 years.
Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Please play responsibly.
Are you ready? Valorec Star has immediate job openings for millwrights at the Youngstown location. Hi, this is Chris Allen, Talent Acquisition Manager for Valorec. If you have machine repair and mechanical troubleshooting experience, this opportunity is for you. Come join the team voted a great place to work. Go to ValorecJobsOnline.com to apply today. Your future starts at ValorecJobsOnline.com.
Hi, this is Dan Rivers. In recent years, selling your home has become complicated. Cut through all that and sell it for top dollar. Listen to Kelly Warren, the agent that guarantees to sell your home or she'll buy it. Catch her here Sunday mornings, 8 a.m., 570 WKBN.
Art Bell is back.
This is Art Bell. Welcome back.
Saturday nights at 9.
You're hearing 570 WKBN Youngstown.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I absolutely love that last segment talking about gaming because that's really what, you know, when we get a little provocative, we talk about things that need to be talked about. You're going to have people from both sides of it, and neither are wrong. Neither side is wrong. So do you hate the fact that video games devolve into a point where it's all violence? Could it be something other than violence? Sure. So could movies. Movies could be something other than violence. Real life could be something other than violence. And there are some people who believe that the more you entertain that kind of behavior, the more it takes root in your culture. And so, again, all is right. We all kind of agree at this point that we want to have less violence, not more. But as you know, as it's already happening, do we want to be prepared for the realities, or do we want to prolong the delusion that it's not really happening? And, kind of at this point, you got to, in my case and with my family's case, I wanted to prepare my kid for something that was the reality, not that I believe in, the violence that he's going to see, but he's going to be prepared for it when he does see it, as being able to at least handle to the point where he can still conduct himself as a virtuous person of society. Good afternoon, Joe. As far as video games go, there are some kids that should not be playing those games. I had a nephew that played those games constantly, and in his mind, that was the real world. And that was, to be honest with you, as scary as hell at times. Yeah, and that's what we were just talking about. Anything that any experience-wise, parents' job, their objective is to give a kid something that they can handle. As kids, I remember one of my best friends was given. We're probably 7 years old, and his parents would give him fireworks. Right, my parents would not give me fireworks, right, because they were dangerous, and you probably shouldn't have fireworks. So it's probably frowned upon where this kid up the street always had fireworks, jumping jacks and firecrackers and bottle rockets and whatever. And, we burnt ourselves a whole lot, and he had that exposure to me. And somebody, like I said, people would argue that was not something that should have been done. And we figured out a way to not die because of it. And looking back on it, there was something so appealing about doing something that was just out of the realm of what was accepted, that rebellious spirit in youth. And that's why we end up at violence, because that's, it seems like it's a little risky. And if you can experience risky stuff, but have it be safe where you don't affect other people, I mean, that is the best of all worlds, because we all delve there. As adults, maybe we don't. But again, this was all about sparking a conversation so that we could at least talk about it intelligently and not be so hastily villainizing things that are still going to exist after we think that they shouldn't. So anyway, that was the whole point and purpose. A couple more topics I want to get to in this hour. So I talk about artificial intelligence a whole lot, and I do my best to kind of explain it to everyone to know what it's what's happening and why it's happening and how it works. And so all of us are participating with at least a little bit of artificial intelligence when software makes sort of decisions based on our what it knows about us. So the first part of the deal is, for the last 10 years we have been volunteering information about ourselves to systems that serve us. And then those systems can take the things that we've told them and make guesses about what it is that we're going to want, and then provide those things as we want them. So knowing how those algorithms and that artificial intelligence work. So for instance, I'll share with you one that Amazon uses. So Amazon has sort of perfected distribution. So Walmart was really good at distribution. Amazon took it to the next level. So let's just say that people in Ohio buy, paper towels, and they buy them pretty much religiously, where they are purchased at about the same intervals. And so systems can make predictive, do you think Amazon, if I purchased paper towels before from Amazon, could it guess that I'm about ready to buy paper towels again? Or if I've ordered groceries from Giant Eagle and I ordered it every day on Friday night, right? Every time I order, it's Friday night. So if Friday night comes along, could they make a pretty fair prediction that I'm going to be ordering groceries here in the next couple hours? So artificial intelligence then tries to make a decision and moves resources to you when it thinks you're about to do something. Okay, so it might not make the decision for you, but at least moves resources close to you. So if you order paper towels, you might not order paper towels, but they moved paper towels closest to your distribution facility, all right, the one that ships to you, so that your paper towels get there super quick. Now, if you don't buy paper towels, then it just sits in the distribution folder, location until you do buy paper towels. But that's lending the thought process and how algorithms are doing their best to serve you. The problem with that, the good side about it is when it's there to serve you, it can make pretty good guesses on how to serve you better. But, most of the privacy advocates that are against giving up and volunteering this information eventually may start misserving you. And what are you going to be able to do about it? So how do you, let's just say that you want to reset the artificial intelligence and what it knows about you. So like on your iPhone. So from the beginning, when you first got your iPhone, it has a thing called predictive text. It has a dictionary of things you're most likely to use. Now, what's going on there is you start texting and typing things out, you'll see that the words change at the bottom. It's making a prediction about what you're going to type based on the words that are appearing before it, the words that the letters that you've already typed, and it's analyzing things that you've done in the past. So if you take a kid named Kevin that you text every Friday night and you say you want to do something, the first word that you're going to type is want, because you've said want every time that you've typed to Kevin. So your predictive text, even as you're moving your fingers of the phone, there's a 90% chance that the W is going to come up. So you know what's happening on that little interface? All of the keys to you look like they're the same size, but they're not. The keys are actually different sizes based on your percentage chance of hitting one of them. So the W might be 5 pixels bigger than whatever letter is next to the W. Okay, so that predictive text are making all of these mathematical calculations and trying to deliver you a button that's just a hair bigger than the other buttons around it, because you're more likely to want that button than the others. Okay, so how do you reset that? Well, you have to take the information away from the computer. So if I go into settings and I find keyboard layout and I hit erase keyboard, right? Erase the dictionary, right? Erase it. I'm going to set it up from scratch. Do you know how much you will hate your phone when you get rid of all of the history? Because now you have keys that are of equal size. You have words that it doesn't know which words you use. It has to basically take the General John Smith dictionary profile of words that you use until it learns the kind of vocabulary that you're typically using around other people. It can't put some words ahead of other words, so it puts all words. It's terribly dumb when it comes to assisting you. So you're used to how it's over time evolved to be very helpful. When it then goes to not being helpful, you're like, well, I'll never do that again, right? But there has to be ways to reset those algorithms and that AI. So if I go to the radio station every Saturday and do a radio show, and so when I get in the car on Saturday right about this time, and it plops directions to the radio station in my GPS, and it's right most of the time, what if I don't want it to assume that anymore? What if my secret girlfriend that lives in another city that I go there regularly, I sneak away from my family and go to see my next girlfriend, and I don't want her address to come up. Debbie's going to kill me when I get home from that example. Sorry, hon. Anyway, so when I get in the car, what if it makes that suggestion when she's sitting in the car and outs me for doing that? I'm going to, then most of you out there are going to say, well, be faithful and you don't have to worry about that. And the other people are like, wait a minute, I should be able to do stuff and not have my technology tell on me. So that's, spending some time here thinking about how to, either reset or not give your information up in the first place, not submit and be so willing to give these companies, all of your information so that they can make those decisions. I think that ship has sailed a little bit. I think that regardless, we've given up so much already. I don't think it's time that we can even look back. Let's see. Make sure I said everything about that. Oh, Twitter was the other thing I wanted to talk about. So as we give these companies like Amazon and like Apple and like Twitter and like Facebook, all of these companies that we may or may not, have views, have views that line up with, maybe we disagree with them about what certain things are, but we're enabling these companies to sort of make decisions on our behalf, even if they decide that they don't have the same principles that we do or our belief systems that we do. So these sort of biases that are going to start to emerge in, our everyday life, our cultural life. So if let's just say you get your news and information from a source like Facebook or like Twitter, what if either one of those decide that there's a segment of news that you shouldn't have access to, right? That's against their beliefs and they don't feel that it should get to you. So you have a bunch of one segment and then you have nothing in a different segment. So to you, you don't know that it's being hidden from you, but that's what it's have. So that's a great deal of control when it comes to content. We've sort of forged this country out of, even if somebody we don't agree with what they say. If they're ignorant and they say terrible things, we want to hear it all and let us decide whether or not we want to hear it or not, and let us close the door. But we've sort of outsourced those decisions to other people to make those decisions on our behalf. I sort of don't want to do that because you and I might agree now, what in the future we don't agree. And I decide that I want to be shown stuff that you've long decided that I don't need to see. And so with our digital life, we're giving a great deal of that power to other companies to make that a decision, and it becomes a scary place. I was listening to an interview on Joe Rogan. He had the CEO of Twitter on, and they were specifically talking about the biases, the liberal biases that they have, in sort of like most of the people that are in that organization are liberal. So they spend a great deal of time trying to balance out their natural liberal biases so it doesn't reflect in the product that they present to the people, right? So, but that's impossible. That's an impossible, possibility. There's no way that if you have biases that you're going to be able to be objective as long as the majority of people within an organization have those biases. They come through in your product all the time. Even if you try to counter them, they're your immediate decision, right? So if you were to take things like our political system, and you put an equal number of people on both sides of the deal, what ends up happening? Gridlock. You have people who can't decide, people who've got their team staked out, and then you have an impasse, right? A natural impasse, where if you have a company and you put like-minded people in a room that all believe the same thing, it's easy to get a lot of stuff done, right? Because, we'll use Twitter in that example. You're not having infighting saying, hey, there's a white supremacist hate group that decides to get on Twitter and say stuff. Well, if you think a principle is that you shouldn't have hate speak on Twitter versus somebody who says, hey, even if it's hate speak, it's still speech. All free speech should be, allowed on Twitter. Which one of those from a philosophical view do you want to win? Do you want the better product? Because that's what Twitter is. They're giving a product to the people who are out there. And if you don't agree with that, then you could just find another product or start your own, right? But Twitter, when they get in the position where they have people, a majority of people, there can't be like a Twitter 2 that starts up and become a different flavor of Twitter. Twitter has a lock on that. They developed that. They made that, right? It's going to be really hard to get a different version to compete against that. And so, these biases that can come into these different marketplaces, just like I warned about retail, just like I warned about these biases, just like I warned about artificial intelligence, the reason that we have to take warning, it's not so much that you need to advocate against these things. These are just realities. But I have to bring them up so that you can start, when you're driving around, thinking about how you want the world to interact with these things so that we can set up proper balances and proper rules and laws and regulations. And if we oppose to them, we need to oppose them intelligently. So if you don't like violent video games and you don't think like they should have a seat. Well, kids are playing them, and a majority of them are playing the violent ones. So it's your job to go invent some video games that do satisfy all of the demands of the people who play video games and make yours better, so that it's not that you take the ones that you disagree with and kill them, but you present one that you think they should go and make it equally as tempting and equally as palatable to the people who are playing that. That is the true challenge. And this apathy that we're in about complaining about everything, that's our problem, is we want somebody else to change it. And I think if it's a better view, if you don't like violent game, go invent a game that is awesome to play, that doesn't include violence, and rip those people away from the violent games, and they will come trudging over to you to play your new game. That's the ultimate challenge. If it's marketable, then there's a bunch of people out there that are in the position to be able to do it. We just have to vocalize that if somebody starts doing that, I'm going to jump on board. I'm going to be an advocate. I'm going to support you, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, so that's just my 2 cents on that. The next topic that we're going to have here in the next segment is this motive of cooperation that I've been putting out there. I've sort of hit the marketplace on my vision board. I put the word cooperation, and you're going to see every one of my moves is trying to get people would otherwise disagree in every element, trying to get people together to work on things, and not just in a way that transactionally work together. I'm talking about even when it transactionally doesn't work out, that we still have sort of this principle of we need to work with other people, and we need to connect with other people, and we need to look out for other people, and we have to have consideration for other people. That's my real motive, and we'll talk about that a little bit in the next segment. But if you want to get on the line, 330-729-9977, or you can text me at 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Our 2019 iHeartRadio Music Award. Alicia Keys, Ariana Grande, Garth Brooks, Halsey, John Legend, Casey Musgraves, Taylor Swift, and more.
They say nobody will hand you your dreams. Well, now that Taco Bell delivers through Grubhub, you can get your dreams handed right to you. Tacos, crunch wraps, chalupas, delivered straight to your door. Taco Bell Delivery. It's your taco dreams, delivered by Grubhub.
There's no room for quitters on a job site. My Masterforce tools deliver power, performance, and durability that doesn't quit. Tools like my 20-volt cordless hammer drill. The brushless motor technology in that drill gives me up to 30% more power and 1.5 times the battery life. Professionals need tools they can rely on. Masterforce tools. Available at Menards.
Save 11% on everything now at Menards. Good through March 9th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Get the hottest flooring styles at incredible prices at Lumber Liquidators Spring Black Friday Flooring Sale. All waterproof floors are on sale up to 50% off. Get $1 off per square foot on select Bellawood hardwood floors. And take 20% off new AquaSeal water-resistant laminate. Plus, ask how you can get professional installation and special financing. Get to Lumber Liquidators Spring Black Friday Flooring Sale today. Visit lumberliquidators.com for a store near you.
Dan Rivers here with another great offer. Are you a recent retiree or older adult looking for a vibrant senior community? You're going to feel right at home at Copeland Oaks. Residents can relax and enjoy life in any of the living options. The continuum of care ensures that residents are comfortable, safe, and cared for, no matter how their needs change or evolve throughout retirement. Commit to an independent apartment by March 31st and receive 1 month free. Call for your personal tour, 330-938-6126, or search CopelandOaks.com.
Don Brady for Columbiana Cadillac Buick Chevrolet with exciting news. All GM employees with a current GM lease can lease a 2019 Chevy Traverse LS all-wheel drive for $299 a month with $0 due at signing. Don't miss out on these auto show bonus savings. Stop in, take a test drive. We're Columbiana Cadillac Buick Chevrolet, downtown Columbiana, or visit us at drivecolumbiana.com. Chevy, find new roads.
36-month lease, tax, title, and license fee due at signing. Subject to credit approval, auto bonus savings, and 31119. See dealer for additional details.
When my cardiologist told me I needed to take a statin drug to lower my cholesterol, he also told me that it can lower my natural levels of CoQ10. He told me to take Cunol. It has the #1 cardiologist-recommended form of CoQ10. A very important nutrient for a healthy heart and healthy blood pressure levels. Cunol, with 3 times better absorption, has the #1 cardiologist-recommended form of CoQ10. Take Cunol, the better CoQ10.
Tax season might be an identity thief's favorite time of year, folks, and that's because there's a chance that your personal information could be exposed with all the tax paperwork going back and forth online. A cybercriminal only needs your name, your date of birth, and your social security number to get a tax refund in your name. They do that by filing before you do. Now, it's a good thing there's LifeLock. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to see threats to your identity that you could miss if you're just looking at your credit score. If there's an identity theft issue, LifeLock's dedicated restoration team members will work to fix it. Now, of course, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock helps protect your identity during tax season and beyond. Sign up right now, get 10% off your first year. It's lifelock.com, or you can call them 800-440-4833. Make sure you use my name as the promo code when you sign up. You get 10% off.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We're talking about things that are happening in the tech industry, also with gaming. Taking your phone calls all show long, so if you have something you want to contribute, feel free, 330-729-9977. Let's go to Ray. Ray, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Yeah, I was wondering if there's any way you can stop pop-up ads.
Yeah, I mean, now there's some ads that are built into the websites that you're visiting. So the best way to stop those, you can download an application that mounts onto your browser, and I think Advanced Pop-Up Blocker is one of them. The browser has some pop-up blocking, so you can turn that on in Internet Explorer, Firefox, and Chrome. And then we use a advanced pop-up blocker that will do all of them. Now, I warn against some of pop-up blockers because it masks that as a symptom. You know, if you're getting pop-ups when the site's not creating them, that you might be infected with something. So before you do that, I would probably take like a Malwarebytes or an antivirus, run that, make sure everything's clean first, and then put some kind of pop-up blocker on the browser.
Yeah, because I have, like, on the bottom right side of the screen, I keep getting small block-ups, and there'll be like 5 or 6 of them come. And I keep getting rid of them, and one will follow the other one.
Yeah, you're probably infected with something. I would probably get the browser to be cleaned up first before I did the pop-up blocking. So go to Malwarebytes, search for malwarebytes.org, download their trial version of Malware Cleaner, and then run that sucker a couple times through and see if you can get the system cleaned up.
Okay, malwarebytes.com.
I think it's .org, malwarebytes.org.
.org.
Yeah, M-A-L.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it. Another thing that you can do on top of that is you can actually reset the browsers. So what happens is just like we're putting the advanced pop-up blocker on there, other software attaches itself just the same that it does. And you can actually go into the settings on the browser and reset it so it disconnects all of those all of those little segments. So the first thing I'll do is I'll go into Control Panel, uninstall anything that I don't recognize from the list. Sometimes the programs will install locally on the computer. Then I'll go through the browser settings and look for extensions or add-ons and get rid of any that I don't recognize. And then I'll run Malwarebytes. Those 3 steps should probably most of the times get rid of it. If it's something that's persistent after that, you might have a deeper infection and you might have to get it cleaned up professionally by a computer company or whatnot. Text message. Hello, Joe. Love the show. I'm a person who works as a gunsmith, and I take the safety of firearms with children very seriously. I've even developed a new tech mechanical containment that keeps electronic tabs on my firearms and reports their safekeeping or any tampering with to gain access to them. I have 2 boys, and they both do Fortnite pretty regularly. Although all points made in the games are relevant and worth considering, they are only the guidelines for by which you parent and steer in them. Prioritizing and diminishing its importance as it relates to real life all the time is needed in these days. We are constantly taught to put it down, and what is as fantasy and not anywhere near as crucial as your grades, family interaction. I'm having trouble reading this. Sorry, it's kind of small. Interactions of friends coming over. We limit the time and use that is an experiment to see if an addiction is getting a hold of them. So, yeah, I agree. And we'll take a break. I'll come back. We're going to add much more to this topic, I'm sure. 330-729-9977, or you can text me at 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
For a healthier way to eat? Then head to Broad Street Diner and Catering in Canfield, the perfect restaurant for healthy family meal options with just the right size portions, various chicken dishes, turkey meals, fish entrees, vegetables, and salads, which means you can eat out guilt-free. Don't deprive yourself of the foods you love. Check out the Broad Street Diner and Catering's healthy eating options at broadstreetdiner.net or at the Broad Street Diner and Catering in Canfield.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. ODOT Director Jack Marchbank says people will pay more at the pump, but will see the benefit. He says the state of Ohio desperately needs to pass an increase to the gas tax. ODOT's proposal for an increase was 18 cents per gallon, a number that came from a review and inspection of every bridge, road, and highway in the state. The Ohio House of Representatives has proposed an increase of 10.7 cents per gallon. A Ravenna man is facing charges after police say he tried to force his way into a Leavittsburg couple's home while screaming people were trying to kill him. David McCullough is charged with aggravated burglary and resisting arrest. He'll appear in court on Monday. A Columbus police officer originally from the Mahoning Valley was shot during an ambush and is currently recovering. William Fries, originally from Poland, was shot in the face Thursday night in Columbus. He's an 11-year veteran of the Columbus Police Department. 3 men considered suspects were detained, but later released. A Youngstown woman indicted in a fatal crash in Ashtabula County is in the Mahoning County Jail. An Ashtabula County grand jury last month indicted Sue A. Deegan. She's accused of being drunk and driving a vehicle that crashed and caused the death of 63-year-old David C. Abels of Rome back in September of 2018 in Geneva. Abels was riding a motorcycle that collided with an SUV driven by Deegan. And don't forget to set your clocks ahead 1 hour before you go to bed tonight as daylight saving time begins at 2 a.m. The time change means you'll lose 1 hour of sleep. The next time change is Sunday, November 3rd. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 3. For your home or business, call Mazza Heating and Cooling in Girard, your factory-authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
The clouds will start to increase as we head throughout the afternoon, and Saturday night, plan on rain showers and the possibility of a rumble of thunder. Highs will hit the mid-40s and will continue to climb overnight. In the Storm Team 27 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alexis Walters.
At Land Pro, they're pro at finding the perfect tractor package to work for your lawn. Right now, you can get a new John Deere 1023E subcompact utility tractor with Auto Connect drive-over mower and 120R loader for as low as $164 a month. Stop by your nearest Land Pro equipment location or build your own tractor package at landproequipment.com. Offer ends 4/30/19. Prices and model availability may vary by dealer. Some restrictions apply. Other special rates and terms may be available. So see your Land Pro dealer today for details and other financing options. Available at participating dealers.
Keep the game on, the coffee brewing, and the moment alive. With Kohler generators, your home stays powered no matter what the weather's doing. Restores power in as little as 10 seconds. Find out more from the experts at Clayton Heating and Cooling. 330-782-8035.
Hi folks, Dan Rivers here. Do you have real estate questions, but you don't know where to get the right answers? I recommend you tune in Sunday mornings to Kelly Warren. She's the only agent who guarantees to sell your home or she'll buy it. Sunday mornings, 8 a.m., 570 WKBN.
What's more important than the safety and security of your family, your home, or your business? Holland Alarm Company has been protecting our valley for nearly 50 years with burglar and fire protection, video surveillance, personal emergency alert, card access, intercoms, and more. Holland Alarm Company is family-owned and operated with local monitoring and no long-term contracts for your convenience, safety, and peace of mind. Meet the pros against cons at HollandAlarm.com. HollandAlarm.com. They never sleep, so you can.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive Little Blue Pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. Right now, get your first month supply for free. All you pay is just $5 for your medical consultation when you go to 4hims.com/supply. After that, it's just $30 for a month's supply. Sure beats paying big bucks for just one blue pill, doesn't it? Plus, you won't need an awkward in-person doctor's appointment to get the prescription. Hims has doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. It's affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/supply. That's 4hims.com/supply for your first month for just $5. 4hims.com/supply.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I'm Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. I have a video game tournament coming up, Super Mario Brothers, back from, it's got to be the 90s when Super Mario came out. Going to have a little competition and tournament. This is going to be our inaugural one. We set up a little cage that has TVs on the outside of it, and we have the game consoles connected to each one of the TVs. We're going to invite a bunch of people down. Tickets starting today are $10 a piece. And for the next week or so, there'll be 10. They go up to 15 the following week. So if you're going to get signed up for this thing, do it shortly. It's basically double elimination. And so you play the game for 10 minutes. And when you're going to matched up with a person, you have to beat them. First round is going to be straight up points and coins and extra lives. And so we add those all up, and the one that has more of those after the 10 minutes advances to the round 2. It's double elimination, so even if you lose the first round, you go to a loser's bracket, and you can also win the loser's bracket as well. And I think I'll call it something other than the loser's bracket to make it a little bit more appealing, but that's essentially what it is. And so the second round is you get points, but then you get weighted where the coins and the extra lives then take on more point value. So it becomes more beneficial not to just run through and get enough points, but coins play a bigger role. Again, if you're eliminated, you go to a different. If you lose a second time, you're eliminated. If you then win, you advance to the final round, and this one where it is really weighted against points and more for coins and extra lives. So 3 different rounds, 3 entirely different games. When you get to the third round and points are meaningless, but the extra lives and coins are, those of you who worked their way through and know the game very well, then you know where to find all of the things that are most useful, like coins and extra lives, and you can go around the board trying to find those things. But it's going to be interesting. Going to pay out $100 to win the brackets. We have signups already going right now. We're filling in the brackets depending on. We're going to only invite people into the windows so that we can get everybody through. So we've started with I believe the 1 o'clock hour, and as we get people signed up, we're going to move earlier in the day until we've got it all scheduled out. It all depends on how many people register. So go over to our Facebook page. Or you can call our office. You can always call 330-259-7278. Leave word that you'd like to get entered into it, and then they'll take your credit card number and get you signed up with your name. It's $10 an entry. And then, like I said, next week it's going to go up to $15 for the final week before the registrations. The tournament is actually the last Saturday in March. I believe it's March 30th. And it will be an all-day event. If we get a lot of players, it'll start early in the morning, and by the evening it'll be done. But start honing your Super Mario Brothers skills. My son and I played the other day, and it was amazing of how those things from your memory come back. Where I some of the stuff where I knew it was hidden, like hidden blocks and hidden extra lives, my brain still knew it was there. You could have asked me before I started playing the game where that was at, but once I started playing the game, my brain just like threw the information back at me. So it was pretty amazing. And I had a 9-year-old son who was very excited to play Super Mario Brothers. So, it's little terrible graphics and way different than the games that you play today, and he found a lot of enjoyment playing along Dad with Super Mario Brothers, so it was kind of cool. So I hope you will plan on joining us. Send me an email, joe@youngstowncomputer.com, if you'd like more information on signing up, and I'll get Carla in touch with you. Otherwise, you can head over to Eventbrite, look for Super Mario Tournament, go over to Facebook, look for the event on Facebook, and you can sign up there. Or just contact our office, and you can get signed up there through 330-259-7278. Okay, text message. Years ago, I read the first-person shooter games are the easiest to develop. The sports games are the most difficult. And the way that I understood it with first-person shooters is that they created an engine that most of the first-person shooters use. And so once you get good at developing one, then you just reskin the engine and the rest of the game. So let's just say that the mathematics for a headshot or a grenade blast or whatever, it stays pretty universal. So it's cheaper because most of the work is done, and then so you buy the engine and then you just create the game that built on top of the engine versus a sports game where I don't know. You would think it would be pretty similar because it's the same concept. If you have a football game, you have catching, you have kicking, you have receiving, you have running, and whatever. It's just a matter of adding, the formulas for the different players and the different aspects. So I don't know. It might be the same. But anyway, I agree with you. I've heard the same thing that they do reuse a lot of that technology, and so first-person shooters might not be where the market is headed, but the producers of the games can make more profits on the games because the games are easier to produce. Good afternoon. I like to debate different topics on Facebook and have noticed Facebook blocks me from getting notified when people respond or tag me in the responses. In fact, I can even see my name in some responses written under the replies section of the post. When I click on the post itself, the responses are hidden from me. In fact, people sometimes screenshot the replies so I can respond. Keep in mind, I'm not cursing or insulting people. What are your thoughts on being able to see those hidden comments? Okay, for 2 reasons here. Sometimes you get stuck in this loop of security preferences on people's posts will only include certain segments. So I can take a post and say that I only want my friends to be able to see this, and even if I cite you, you won't be able to see it because you're not my security preferences on my post don't allow it. And I could take anybody from a post and block them from a conversation no matter what if I was the originator of the post. So I've not heard of Facebook doing this on its own, where it's not going to single you out. It has to be part of the security preferences on the person who authored it. So I'm going to guess that the person that wrote it is the one that made that happen, not necessarily Facebook. But you're right. The only way to see it is somebody, get somebody that does have permissions, and they can look at it. And this little trick here is that if you were to take a different profile and you're not specifically blocked. So let's just say you had a Joe Danier profile and you had a John Smith profile. And the John Smith one is your anonymous version of your Facebook profile. So you just keep it alive so that if you can't see something, you can use your John Smith one that nobody will know to block because it's an anonymous one, but it has the ability to go and see things. Then you could go, creep on people's posts and whatnot. So maybe you have a fictitious profile that you can use for that, in that capacity. It's probably frowned on. Facebook doesn't want you to have just these alter egos having their own Facebook profiles, but there's so many of them, you're not going to be the first that invents a profile that is not themselves to be able to do this. So I'm only suggesting it because this is not illegal to do, nor is it, like I said, the only thing is they probably have asked, they'd say they wish you wouldn't do that. But as long as you're not breaking any rules by creating a profile, attaching it to an email address, that's really all it comes down to. You're going to have to give that profile its own email address, but it's not hard at all to go over to, Gmail or Yahoo and create a free email address that you can use for that capacity. So again, that's a good way to, creep on profiles too, is just go create an alter ego profile. All right, so this cooperative thing, this excites me because, like I said, this is truly a disadvantageous philosophy where you're not really looking at doing stuff for other people because there's something in it for you. It's the opposite. So my challenge is I'm doing a tech expo next year. Okay, so I'm going to bring technology companies that are here in Youngstown to set up a table and demonstrate what they do for a living and get the public to come in so that when they demonstrate what they do, people, could just really show off. So we have excellent technology companies, people who build things, people who are service industry that work on things, people that are developers, all sorts of really, you wouldn't even know that we have a bunch of robotics companies or a bunch of 3D printing companies because they're not advertising to the general public. You're not really their audience, right? They're in manufacturing. But if we can get some of those to demonstrate their wares in a public setting, us as the public, we can go see it and really get a sense of pride for what exists here in Youngstown because, we have to defend the people who work here by supporting them. And if you can't support them directly by buying their products, at least if you know they exist, that you can support them in any way that you can. And so this is a way to bring them to the public, a public place so that we can all witness them and what it is that they do. So that's the motive where I need to, number one, I need to be able to take people in my industry and bring them together, at least in the capacity where they can trust me to put them on showcase and give them all, and work with them so that they can all promote their businesses just as much as I do. So, you would think because I'm in this industry that I'm going to, put me or my favorites ahead of people that are not my favorites. Well, that would not, make for a good show. It would make for a good Joe Danier show. And that's not what I'm after. I want to be able to go up to people who I have direct competition with, bring them to the table, and give them an equal shake in this expo. So I practiced this last week. And really my rules were that I was going to go to these people. I'm going to say, I'd really like to have you at this expo. And when it comes down to reciprocation, like what's in it for Joe? I mean, is he looking for something? I'm going to turn down reciprocation. I'm not going to make this about what somebody can exchange for me personally or for my company. This is going to be a transaction where I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to grow. I want everybody to make a ton of money. I want everybody to be able to hire an unlimited amount of people, right? The best I can do to take people in my industry is to help them promote themselves, and there's plenty of market in this place to go around. There's not a shortage of companies where I'm afraid that if I help promote my competition that somehow I'll be at disadvantage. I'm giving away the farm. I'm letting it open and know that each one of us has a place and we can work together. I would like someday to be able to take my fiercest competition and say, hey, you know what? I got a workload and I got a customer that I know that I'm not going to be able to field as well as you guys. So why don't you take this one? Here's a customer that came to me, and I know you do just as good a job that I do. You take this one, and we'll get the next one. And then that person says, yeah, that was a really nice thing. Now I feel obligated that if I'm in the same spot, that if I'm overburdened, I could just give one to them, and they're going to do the same thing to me. That's the kind of attitude that I want that I'd really like to carry into the marketplace. I don't see it very often. I don't sense it. There was this one time it pissed me off so bad that I brought a company to the table to do web development for me. I couldn't take on any web projects, but I knew a company that did. And I said, here's the deal. I want you to come to the table. I'm going to give you this customer to do web development. The only thing I'd like you not to do is try to work under my banner. Don't, you're a competing company with me. Work as Youngstown Computer. Don't pitch your own services. Don't try to snipe or poach the customer. Just try to work under me and just take the customer, listen to them out. And like 30 seconds into the conversation, they presented their business card and said who they were. So there was really, I don't like playing defensive business as it is. But when you bring somebody in the tent that does the same thing as you, what's going to stop them from trying to take your customer, right? There's sort of got to be some. I don't know, just a way of consideration about not doing that, because you wouldn't want that done to you. Someone's already, exposing a vulnerability, bringing you in, and the minute that you take a chance, we've had copier companies do the same thing. They come in as copier and say, "Hey, so you got your network over there. Why don't we take your networking business over?" Right? Where I've sent this company there to do the copiers. I know that they do IT. Right, but if I send and I recommend, say, hey, this company does really good with copiers. Why don't you call them up? They ask me for the recommendation. I send you, and now you're in there because I recommended you, and now you're saying, hey, let's take the whole network over and kick Joe out of those networks. I always believe, and it is my philosophy, that it's my job to earn my customers. I don't care if I've had them for a day or 10 years. I have to be, if it comes down to a choice between me and them, it's up to me to be better than everyone else, so they choose me. I don't put these little barriers up that make them beholden to me. If they're free to engage with other people, I totally have respect for that. Okay, that puts the pressure on me to perform. In fact, I picture sometimes my worst enemies in some of my networks, and I have to always be at my best because I know that they're just they're going to be at their best when they're trying to land a new contract. But anyway, long story short, that I'd really like to have at least my industry that is very brutal and very competitive at the level where I could start bringing some people in and doing some cooperation between it. Because if I'm going to do this tech expo, I got to want every one of them to do well when they show up. I want every one of them to get more customers than they can handle. I want all of them to be respected and have a higher standard, and all trying to achieve the same thing. Running into the marketplace, using our expertise to be able to enable other people and help everybody around. That's what I want at the end of this tech expo. And that's what you'll see me pursue over the coming months. And so, this experiment with me going to someone and turning down reciprocation, that's the first thing that they set up. They said, hey, we'd like to send customers back to it, which was great. I love the fact that this one example already within 30 seconds of an email exchange decided that they were cool about sending reciprocal stuff. And I said, no, I'm not really after business coming in. I want to see you doing well, right? And I want to see things being handled appropriately. Let's see if we can sit down and do common business together. And we'll see. I mean, it can go either way, and I got to be okay with it being either way. So this is more like training myself to be able to put with competitive environments, being able to say what we do on the field, I'm going to still compete against you to be better than you, but at the same time, me being better than you does not mean that I need to put obstacles in your way. It's almost like, you want your girlfriend to like you, right? So you got to be better than everyone else every day and not keep her locked in a room. And that doesn't mean that she's choosing you because you're locked in a room. You want her to go out and choose you when you are not with her, right? That's the objective here. And so that level of cooperation is mighty, and it's an undertaking. I've been in this industry for 20 years now, and more than 20 years, and not one day that we've existed, I haven't seen some cutthroat maneuver to outplay somebody else for reasons, defensive reasons, either poaching or, just doing totally nefarious stuff for the sake of getting more business. And that's sort of like admitting that there's not enough work for everyone, which I do not believe in it. So I think there's plenty of people and work for everybody to go around, and so it's totally unnecessary to hurt the other guy when there's plenty to go around. I mean, just find everybody in their expertise. If one dude's better at me than at web development, guess what I'm going to do? When web development comes in, there's your web development. And then if I'm better or like something else, maybe you'll send me that stuff your way. And maybe this is the utopia version of the tech field, and I'm okay with that. So anyway, I thought I'd share that cooperative story. I don't know, it's inspiring. It's just something I believe in. All right, we're going to get one more segment when we come back. If you want to call 330-729-9977, or you want to text me at 333-1570, we'll try to take your calls when we come back from this break. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
My Irish eyes are smiling just thinking about celebrating St. Patrick's Day with an ice-cold Coors Light at Magic Tree on South Avenue in Boardman. The daily shenanigans start Sunday, March 10th during the parade and go all week long. On St. Patrick's Day, the party starts at 8 a.m. with live music, traditional Irish food, ice-cold Killians, and of course me, Fast Freddy, at 3 o'clock with games, giveaways, and the music to keep you dancing all night long. We'll be shamrocking and rolling for good food, cold beer, and great times. The only place to celebrate St. Patrick's Day is at Magic Tree on South Avenue in Boardman.
Ron Burgundy Podcast.
The Ron Burgundy Podcast. Already one of the most listened to podcasts in the world. There's a new episode available now. Listen or download on the free iHeartRadio app.
If you're 55 or older, you're probably thinking, what will you do after the kids move out of the house? Have you thought about resort-style living at the lakes at Jefferson in Mercer County? Spacious apartments with large restrooms and private patio areas. As a resident, you'll enjoy elegant dining, a fitness center. If you're intrigued, visit thenugentgroup.com. That's thenugentgroup.com. And check out the lakes at Jefferson Independent Living. Once again, thenugentgroup.com.
From America's best-selling automobile to the world's toughest trucks, there's a reason why customers are driving from Youngstown, Boardman, Austintown, Hermitage, even Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So come and find out for yourself at our all-new state-of-the-art facility on Route 46. See you at Toyota of Warren.
Hey, it's Ron Verp for Nature Stone. Never replace your garage flooring again. How about reducing tracked-in dirt, eliminate puddling, standing water, and salt damage, and cover that uneven concrete so you don't slip or trip. If you have cracked, pitted, buckled, uneven, and ugly concrete, you need Nature Stone. Your garage will look terrific. Get Nature Stone installed in your home by the end of March and get up to 50% off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today. Call or go to naturestone.com. And like my friend Mike says, it's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Folks, the offices here at the EIB Southern Command now feature new furniture from Rhino Safe. They not only make safes, they also make furniture made from iron right here in the U.S. The custom-made credenza and new safe make fine additions to our state-of-the-art facilities here. Now, you've heard me talk about veteran-owned rhinosafe.com and their amazing safes, tool chests, and furniture. Our EIB safe is their latest innovation, a nightstand and safe combination, styled in their trademark antique industrial ironworks look. The nightstand safe includes USB ports and power outlets to power just about anything. And like every Rhino Safe product, it's built to withstand anything. Check it out at rhinosafe.com. Online financing, no interest for 12 months. They have a huge dealer network and a variety of delivery options. rhinosafe.com.
To find a Rhino Safe dealer near you, visit rhinosafe.com. That's RHINO safe.com.
The iHeartRadio Music Awards. One night where we celebrate the artists you thumb up year-round on the iHeartRadio app.
Y'all having fun yet?
And we want you to experience the awards just like the artists. We'll fly you to L.A. You'll walk the red carpet and experience the iHeartRadio Music Awards VIP with front row seats. Open the iHeartRadio app and listen to the iHeartRadio Music Awards station, and you're automatically entered to join us and get some of the best IG photos of your life.
iHeartRadio.
Your music, your stations, your podcasts, all free.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer. I did also want to mention during this program, in the weeks coming, we're going to be doing some live events across the way over at the Magic Tree. So in conjunction with the program, we're going to continue some of the topics that we have, give me some ranting space, and we're going to go enjoy, get some food and be able to talk publicly with those who follow the program or are involved. I want to reward some of the longtime listeners, the people who contribute regularly. So please get in touch with me if you're a longtime listener of the program to get an invitation to the event, the where and the when. Send me an email or a text message. Joe@youngstowncomputer.com is my email address. I know Gail out there has followed for forever. So Gail will be getting an invitation and other. I'll kind of go back through my memory and see if we can find the contributors that are always around and always come through. That's really we have one of those loyal audiences where whenever I ask something, you guys always come through and all I have to do is mention on the radio, and I have everybody sort of line up and really support our endeavors. And this being one of them, the public showcasing of what we do is a large majority of what Youngstown Computer and Youngstown Studio is going to do. So this is pivotal. This next step is very important into what happens after this. We're going from what happens on the radio waves to doing stuff publicly and eventually having stage stuff done. We're getting into the entertainment circles and doing these events. So we're gonna pretty much have our most loyal people that support this really give it a hand and assistance in making this successful. So I'm doing that now, is asking for all of you to get in touch with me and contact me that you'd like to be involved in this, and I'd really appreciate your presence, showing up to allow us to practice our craft. This stuff that we do early on is going to be in my head. It exists, and it's going to start being realized in front of an audience. Again, it's going to be over at the Magic Tree, and it's going to happen the same days that the program does. So if you find yourself available on Saturdays and want to, help out and give me a platform to continue on, what it is that we do, I would really appreciate it. We've got a lot of partners they're going to help in that. First off, the Magic Tree is so willing to participate. We had Jeff from the Business Journal extend his graciousness in being able to help with the things that we do publicly. iHeartRadio has been a partner in absolutely everything that we've ever asked to do. The people here have been supportive and allowing us to do it. Like free reign and such a great partner. And there's many others that have offered their support as well. But I'm just telling you that it's always all hands on deck. And I've always really appreciated the people of this area to get behind things and just at the volume that they do. I've always appreciated that. So if you're an advertiser and you're on the fence about dealing with this radio station, I mean, these people are all family. It's not even a transaction between vendors. You got people who will really be on your side. So if that's really what breaks it here, is if you want a friend who's really going to look out for you, that's what this place is all about. So let it be. So again, Joe at Youngstown Computer is my email address. Please get in contact with me and let me know if you'd like to be involved in our performances that are going to be in public. And we are back next week, so look forward to seeing you guys all next week. Have a great one. Don't forget to turn your clocks, spring ahead, so forward tomorrow at 2 a.m., I believe. So everyone, have a great week. You've now listened to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN.
Okay, you've heard me talk a lot about Epson EcoTank printers.